Anyway, so real quick, I just want to share my booth setup before I tear this down, because we have people coming tomorrow who are going to need access to this space, and this is just going to be utter chaos for them if I leave it up. Anyways, I have a table coming up at SF Zine Fest, so that's San Francisco Zine Fest. I think most individuals are getting half tables. So I had to get a little creative with my setup, but I think it's actually for the better because it made me get a little bit more serious with how I have my things on display. So I thought maybe I just kind of walk through. There's also a lot of like new products and things. So anyways, I'll start from what we already know. Coloring books, bookmark, those are from before. This one that's open is easy for the customers to come and flip through. I have a bit of excess I need to sell. Honestly, I think they're actually doing pretty well. I sold a few of these to a local comic store, and I just checked in with them and they actually sold out of them. So I'm gonna reach out again and see if they want to order a new stock. Anyways, so just kind of going through the setup. This is where my coloring book station is. We have one display cover, and this is like pointing at the outside, the line. Price tag is front and center, and I'm going to continue running that promo where I give a free bookmark with purchase. So here are the bookmarks up here. I haven't removed these yet, but these are clear acrylic. These are just the protective sheet coating that they give you whenever you buy them. These are actually spice drawer organizers. And I intentionally made it angled flat, mostly because I'm kind of short, so when I'm back here, not a lot of me is going to be visible, especially when you think about like how there's going to be back, like every 3 feet, there's a new booth. So moving up, if I zoom out a bit, we're actually expanding that product line a bit with some colored prints. A lot of times when people came to my booth, they actually wanted a colored one, not an activity one, I guess. Anyways, I have some colored prints of some of those pages from within. So I just did 3. Got the rabbit, which is Japan, and the dragon, which is Vietnam, and the ox, which is Cambodia here. Just to rehash, this is the coloring book, coloring bookmarks, prints, some information, how to pay me, some business cards people can pick up if they want to contact me later. And then here is the main event, which is all the zines. Some of it's new, some of it is not old, but like rediscovered from me, like things I forgot I did. It's one of those things like you do stuff because it's fun, and then you forgot that you did it. Or at least, I don't know if other people have that issue, but that's what happened to me. Yeah, so these are my zines. This one is Idiatum. This is a fiction. It's about a girl who really wants to believe in magic, even though magic isn't real. And this was something I drew my last year of college, and I drew it traditionally, like hand ink dip pens on 18 by 24 Bristol, because I was told that's the size you're supposed to use. And if you see my originals, they're freaking huge. The fact that I shrink it down to something this small is kind of impressive. I think the originals are almost like 6 times the size. They're pretty big. We have Paper Crane, which is a 24-hour comic I did a few years ago. It's a wordless story in 24 pages, talking about like the legend of the paper cranes. You fold 1,000 paper cranes to make a wish or to be healed. So that's the story of a little girl folding 1,000 paper cranes in here. Beyond the Road is my graphic novel I'm working on. This is sort of a one-shot chapter from within, and the one that's on this display is just a test copy I printed for myself. The one that's going to be sold will be a little different. Oh, and I also made these little signs for all my books. I got this idea from the Barnes & Nobles, at least the one out here. They have little signs under some of the manga and comic series that just tell you a quick snippet of what it's about. So I took that idea from them and tried to put in my comic stand. This one is my graphic novel, my manga that I did back in pre-pandemic, 2018. It's a YA fiction. This is volume 1 about fallen angels, and particularly this girl, Sophiel. Basically, she falls to Earth and her presence on Earth starts waking the supernatural. So then this bottom section here is all surrounding one specific publication that I started working on this last month, and that is the Adventure with Titan miniseries. So these are mini zines, printed and cut to be a little bit nicer than your typical one-sheet fold. version of a mini zine. But yeah, if I could just flip this open, I'm only gonna open the middle because it's easy with one hand. Yeah, so it's like a little 8-page comic, each one going through a different episode of Adventures with Titan. And this is how I originally started doing this. At first it was just for fun because I was working on Beyond the Road for so long. I needed a break to do something different. So I created the first Adventures with Titan zine. And that kind of just inspired the next one, which inspired the next one. I just kept going with it. So now I'm releasing it every week online. The first handful are designed to be read as mini zines, so I'm bringing the first 3 with me as printed. And I'm going to be selling them as a bundle, where if you buy, each one of these is $3, but if you buy all 3 plus a sticker, you only have to pay $10. So it's like a $2 off deal. It's pretty good. And these are the stickers from it. So these are all die-cut, laminated, waterproof vinyl. And finally, here is the sticker sheets. And again, these are my test copies, which is why there's a couple missing from the set. Anyways, just wanted to share this, and I'm gonna stop filming now. And wish me luck for Zine Fest.
Depends on what this person uses. So we have the classic SF Zine Fest tote that I've already shown you. We also have the 2018 t-shirt, which is the cutest thing ever.
Back from the Zine Fest, and actually it's been a month since the event, so I'm actually going to play this walkthrough footage I recorded before the doors opened so you can get an idea of the setup and just how big the space was. I had an awesome time. It was incredibly busy, and I got to meet a lot of people. A friend was also tabling at Zine Fest and got the space next to me, so it was nice having someone I know near me too. We were located right in the middle of the event room, and the way they designed the layout, we had this sort of pocket of space in front of us, which was good because we never felt overcrowded or congested, but still got a good amount of foot traffic and people stopping by. I would say the busiest time was actually at the tail end right before closing. At one point there was some random applause that started up, and I didn't know what was going on, but apparently that was the sign to end the event. Maybe a tradition from past years, I don't know. But it was right in the middle of a sale and during the peak, so I was kind of surprised by it. So yeah, I regret not getting a chance to meet Edion and buy one of his books, and overall I think my biggest miss was not walking around to see other tables. I thought I'd have time at the end because I learned trading zines was a thing and I wanted to do it after everyone had, done their sales. But yeah, the last hour was the busiest, so I didn't get a chance to do that. As for numbers, I'm a little conflicted about whether I should share that. On the one hand, I love watching the YouTubers who do Artist Alley and art vending events and talk candidly about how they did sales-wise. At the same time, I think Zine Fest have this spirit that's more about community than sales. But I mean, everyone who has a table is definitely thinking about making sales, so what I decided to do was to talk about my sales in terms of percentages. I saw Liz Spirit Design, another YouTuber, do this, and I think it's a good way to talk about numbers without actually talking about the numbers. So here's a breakdown on my profit expenses. Keep in mind though that I'm not including sales tax or cost of goods or meals in this breakdown. A half table at SF Zine Fest was $50. But I also volunteered $10 to their Pay It Forward program, and then with their processing fee it made the total cost for the table about $63. I'm local, so I didn't have to worry about hotels or places to stay, but I did have to transport in and out. I chose to use a rideshare because of the heavy suitcase. And then I chose to take the public transit back because the surge rates for rideshares by that time were really expensive and I just was not feeling it. In hindsight, I would say this is one of those instances where driving myself and paying for parking would have been cheaper just because of the hourly cost at the nearby parking lots. I'm also going to include travel expenses to the SF Zine Fest kickoff party, which was the day before. It came out to be about the same amount. So in total, my expenses came out to be about $136, which when you compare it to my revenue means about half of my sales were profits, so that was pretty good, to be honest. It definitely didn't match my expectations of how much I could make at a tabling event, but I think my expectations were a little bit too crazy. Like I said, I've been watching a lot of YouTube artists with very established fan bases and experiences doing vending events, and their sales are a lot higher, but I think this is okay. I did end up scheduling a couple more events. The next one is actually going to be in San Diego, and I'm not going to this one with the expectation of breaking even if I include the travel expenses and hotels and everything, but I wanted to get a taste of what it's like to travel for an event. And I've never been to San Diego, so we're kind of treating this as a road trip vacation where we get to explore a town we've always been curious about and just never had the chance to go visit. I think I'm going to start applying to other ones. The Zine Fest were a lot of fun. I feel like it gave me a little more confidence to do bigger events. I have a lot of art, like prints and stickers that I can make that probably don't fit well in a Zine Fest, but would fit well at like a comic convention. In the meantime, I hope you enjoy this vlog. Subscribe if you want to keep following and see where I end up next, and catch you in the next video.